Everybody, this is Sally Cope speaking from the Tourism Australia office here at Australia House in London. For those of you I've not met, I'm the Regional General Manager overseeing the UK, Ireland and Northern European markets. Thank you for making the time to listen to this update, recorded in October 2019. We are releasing this update prior to the inaugural Australia Marketplace event in London on the 30th and 31st of October, so our Australian industry colleagues attending will be informed on our latest news before they arrive. Before I start talking about the UK market, there is one obvious caveat I need to call out, and that is the looming Brexit deadline of the 31st of October. As the political situation continues to unfold, it's impossible for me to predict the outcome, but I can provide you with some insights into the impact of the process and where we see major challenges and opportunities for tourism to Australia. In fact, just this month, Skift released a report on the impact of Brexit on the travel industry, which is definitely worth reading. I was particularly interested to note in this report that typically the UK is a net exporter of travel. That means that UK residents spend considerably more on outbound travel than the country receives from inbound travel spending. Despite the distraction of Brexit, this remains true to this day, indicating that the UK consumers' hunger for international trips and the high priority placed on holidays within their leisure spending budgets. We've identified the key challenges and opportunities for Australian tourism in the UK market this year. From an opportunities perspective, first of all, it's a resilient market. The strong historic, sporting and social ties that bond the UK and Australia provide us with an enviable opportunity to lean into the market right now and focus on key messages highlighting Australia as a warm and welcoming destination. The UK travel trade promoting Australia is very robust. Our key distribution partners are active and have an extensive knowledge of the destination. We have over 1,900 qualified Aussie specialists and close to 1,000 flights per week connecting the UK and Australia. Our brand health is strong. Against competitor destinations, Australia ranks number 2 for consideration and intention, number 3 for awareness, and 5 for visitation. Building on this, we are planning to launch the new Tourism Australia brand campaign in the UK in time to meet the peak booking period of January through to March 2020. This new brand platform will be previewed to trade and industry on the 30th of October. The challenges we face in the UK market remain the same as they have in recent times. Australia is such a familiar destination, we are in danger of being almost too familiar and too well known. We need to work hard to remain interesting, inspiring and fashionable as a destination in the eyes of UK travellers. As a long-haul destination, we're complex to book. Hence, we work closely with the UK travel trade, who ably facilitate the booking process and encourage UK travellers to visit Australia in bite-sized pieces, rather than keeping plans on hold until there's time to cover the whole country in one trip. This approach also then challenges the lack of urgency to book now rather than wait. And of course, it would be remiss of me not to call out the distraction of Brexit as a major challenge in the UK market right now. It remains an ongoing issue that's impacting UK travel behaviour and consumer confidence. Currently, we have the same decline witnessed before the earlier March deadline for Brexit, and it's being seen again now in advance of the revised 31 October deadline for Brexit. At Tourism Australia, we define our target market based on behavioural and attitudinal traits rather than demographics. Defined as high-value travellers, we're seeking to target UK residents who travel out of region, or more simply put, they travel long haul. They're considering or intending to travel to Australia. They have a preference for Australian-style experiences such as aquatic and coastal, food and wine, nature and wildlife. And they represent high value, meaning they like to spend more, disperse further and stay longer. In the UK, we estimate this primary market size to be 2.1 million long-haul travellers currently considering travel to Australia. We know that they represent just 10.7% of the total market opportunity, and that there are a further 5.1 million who do not currently have Australia on their radar, but can be influenced by our marketing activity. Although much higher in the purchase funnel, this group represents a great opportunity for us to grow the market for travel to Australia. And just to reiterate, the target market in the UK are definitely high value travellers. They stay on average 17 nights in Australia. They spend 2 to 3 times more than the average traveller, and 68% of them are FIT travellers who disperse into the regions. Our latest visitor arrivals data shows a 3% decline in UK visitor arrivals to 716,000 in the year ending August 2019. That's compared to the previous year. Total visitor spend is also down 3% to $3.4 billion. This makes the UK Australia's 4th largest source market for arrivals and 3rd largest for spend. As previously mentioned, it's a high value market with 86% travelling for leisure, meaning on holiday or visiting friends and relatives. These visitors disperse widely, stay longer and spend more. To put that in more context, in total UK visitors stay on average 32 days and 41% disperse into the regions beyond the gateway cities. We know from our key distribution partners that the average holiday itinerary takes in 2.4 Australian states, which is why it's so important for Tourism Australia and our STO partners to collaborate closely in this market. As previously noted, the booking lead times are shortening, which is also a sign of the times. The collapse of Thomas Cook last month sent shockwaves through the UK travel industry. I was at the APTA convention just a couple of weeks later, and the general consensus amongst the industry viewed this event as a failure of corporate finance rather than the travel industry. On October the 10th, Hayes Travel confirmed their purchase of the complete portfolio of 555 Thomas Cook-owned stores. This move now positions Hayes as the largest UK travel retailer with over 700 stores, and should also give consumer confidence a boost around the retail travel industry. Each quarter we send a short survey out to our key distribution partners to gauge sentiment on the state of the market, particularly in relation to Australia. This quarterly market monitor provides us with some interesting insights. Our latest results from July to September allowed us some cautious optimism, with 32% of respondents reporting that passenger numbers and revenue has increased for Australia by over 10% compared to the same period last year. Respondents also noted that booking lead times are shortening, which makes it harder to forecast forward sales, and this is likely to be another byproduct of the Brexit effect. The UK aviation landscape remains competitive, which means airfares to Australia continue to represent great value even with rising fuel prices. Currently there are close to 1,000 flights per week available on UK-Australia routes with one-stop connections of less than 5 hours. Qantas direct flights between London and Perth continue to be very successful, with the carrier reporting high load factors. Emirates, Qantas and Singapore Airlines hold the lion's share of seat capacity, and last month Emirates confirmed that the UK is the most profitable market within their network. Looking beyond the UK, I'll now provide a brief update on the latest arrivals data from some of our nearby markets. Norway has recorded positive growth in the last 12 months. Visitor arrivals sit at similar levels to last year at 23,500 visitors, but spend has increased by an impressive 30% to 150 million, which is great news. From Sweden, visitor arrivals for the year ending August 2019 reached 44,400, with an expenditure of 224 million. This indicates a slight softening on the previous year, but nothing to be concerned about. Denmark's also produced some solid results, with just over 30,000 visitors in the year ending August 2019, contributing 200 million to the Australian economy. Although a smaller market, Finland maintains a steady performance with 16,800 visitors, contributing 91 million. It's worth noting that these Nordic markets are definitely high value to Australia. Visitors from this part of the world disperse widely throughout Australia. In fact, over 40% of all visitor nights are spent outside of capital cities. They are also leisure travellers, with close to 80% of all visitors travelling on holiday or visiting friends and relatives. And most importantly, they're good spenders. The average spend per trip is $6,000, which is above average for almost all countries. The Netherlands sent 62,800 visitors to Australia in the year ending August 2019, who spent $360 million in total, a strong result with good growth year on year. Similarly, Belgium has recorded growth in arrivals with 24,100 visitors spending $203 million. And finally, the growth from the Irish market is in part attributable to a slight upswing in the take-up of the working holiday visas. In the year ending August 2019, over 67,000 Irish visitors came to Australia, the total value of this market being $345 million. Tourism Australia's role in all of these markets is to provide the trade with support predominantly through the Aussie Specialist Program and trade events like the Australia Marketplace happening in London later this month. We've now compiled a brief summary of our recent activity in the UK. This is simply a snapshot, and if you'd like any more detail, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me directly. In collaboration with all 8 STOs, we partnered with the Telegraph UK on a year-long editorial and sponsored content partnership to deliver a consistent message describing why there's nothing like Australia to our high-value audience. Content has been published throughout the year with a focus on 4 key pillars: culture and events, aquatic and coastal, nature and wildlife, and journeys. To help move the high-value traveller through the purchase funnel, content includes planning information and an interactive online map showing feasible 2-week itineraries. In addition, we have a full ownership of the ad spaces of the online Australia travel section and sponsored content which drives to various conversion campaigns throughout the year. This campaign is on track to deliver 6 times the amount of Australian travel content created last year, and our target of over 1 million unique online views and a 30% uplift in Australian travel intention amongst the Telegraph's readers. Earlier this year, we launched a new campaign targeting working holiday makers. Under the new brand Australia Inc., we created a tongue-in-cheek recruitment video as well as a series of online interviews showing potential working holiday makers how the skills and experiences gained in Australia can help them stand out from the crowd. This campaign was developed following research showing that whilst working holidays are still appealing to young people, barriers to their uptake exist, and there's a need for more practical information around Australia's Working Holiday Maker program and its benefits. We focus primarily on social and digital channels, as well as partnering with STA Travel at a series of graduate recruitment fairs across the UK. Plus, we created a dedicated online hub that features useful links and practical information on preparing for a working holiday in Australia. The hub also explains how the skills learnt on a working holiday in Australia can benefit future careers. Results to date show that the campaign achieved incredible reach, and our insights indicate that the message is resonating. Australia sits in the top 5 most desirable destinations for a working holiday, and the people who saw the campaign are 3 times more likely to plan an Australian working holiday. Our international media hosting program has generated some outstanding results as well. We've had 18 journalists visit Australia from the UK in the last financial year, generating 52 items of earned media and reaching 39.1 million readers. And the Aussie Specialist Program remains our primary platform for educating the travel trade. At last count, we have over 2,500 agents registered in the UK, of which 1,900 have completed the program to become qualified Aussie specialists, and 96 of them are premier agents. Our hardworking team managed to get out and about to train 2,700 agents face-to-face last year, and this was at over 30 events they organised across the country. So that's it from me. Thank you for listening. We're looking forward to welcoming the Australian industry to London for Australia Marketplace at the end of October. And if anyone else happens to be passing through London at any time, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.